Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to your morning reset with Tameeka Nelson. I am so excited to be your spirit, soul, and business strategist. We are excited this morning as we focus on business. That is our focus for today, business. And so we want you to enjoy this previously recorded focus on business entitled Make It Make Sense. Hey, hey, hey. This morning, I am going to put a disclaimer out there and let you know that this one may not be for everybody, but it is for somebody. And I need all my somebodies to let me know that this is for you this morning. I am not going to read the scripture, but I did put it in the title so that you can read it at your leisure. I'm just going to go over it, kind of give you a brief overview, and then make the points that I feel led to make. But if you would do me a favor before we start, if you would just tag some people this morning, share it with some of your sisters, let them know that we're on this morning. So now that I know people are on, and I'm going to go ahead and start this morning because I know everybody's on their way to work and I have to get the kids off to school and whatnot. So we're going to be talking about the story that this is coming from is 2 Kings 4, 1 through 7. Again, this is not going to be for everybody, but it is for somebody. And those of you that it is for, I want you to grab it this morning and run with it. It's from 2 Kings 4, 1 through 7, and it's the story of the widow woman with the cruse of oil. And so the story begins with a woman whose husband he had served Elijah. So Elijah was a prophet, and her husband was also a prophet that served with Elijah. And so her husband, he died, and when he died, he was in debt. And so one of the people that he owed was looking for his money even after even looking to be paid after he died, right? He's like, I get that your husband died or whatever, but run me my money type of thing, okay? And so he was after the wife for the money that was owed to him, right? And so in those times when you didn't pay your debt, they could take your children as slaves as payment for that debt, right? And so that was the point that she was at. The man was ready to come and take her children as slaves as payment for for the debt that her husband had left over. And so she went into mama bear mode, right? She went into mama bear mode and she was like, this man is not going to take my kids, so let me figure out what I'm going to do, right? In order to pay this man off so that he can leave me and my babies alone, right? Sounds just like us. We got all this going on, but when it comes to our babies, all right, we gonna make it happen, right? And so she said, let me just go talk to Elijah because my husband used to work with him, I guess you can say. He used to serve him. And so he said that she went to Elijah and she was like, hey, this is what the story is. This man is coming after me because my husband died with debt. And so now this man wants to take my kids as slaves. And Elijah was like, okay, so like, what you want me to do about that, right? And he's like, so he asked her a question. He goes, basically, sorry to hear that, but what do you have in your house? Like, what kind of question is that? He didn't say, here's a way, here's the money. He didn't say, here's the money. He didn't say, here's where you can go get the money. He said, what do you have in your house, right? And so basically the lady's like, I don't have anything except this little flask of oil. Like, what is that going to do, right? That's all I have left. So he tells her to go to her neighbors and get as many vessels as she can so that and then bring them back to her house. Once she gets to her house, close the door behind her and put the vessels in her home. So once she has them, she does exactly what he says. She closes the door behind her, and she gets the vessels in her house, and she starts pouring the oil in each vessel. She does that, and as she's filling the jug, she's like, okay, pass me another one, pass me another one, pass me another. Mind you, she had a flask of oil. A flask is small, a flask of oil, and she said that's all that she had. So she said, pass me the jug, pass me the jug, pass me this vessel, pass me this vessel. And finally, she says, pass me the vessel again. And her son says, well, we're all out of vessels, right? And so once all the vessels were full, remember she went to all the neighbors and got as many vessels as she could, right? So once all the vessels were full, once they ran out of the vessel, the oil dried up. And so that's usually the part of this story where people, like to run and shout and all of that kind of stuff because of the miracle of taking that little bit of oil and spreading it to all of the different vessels and whatnot. She basically God made it so that she had more than enough and the oil was stretched. That is the miracle of the story, right? But God made a way. He took little, he made it much, and we would take that right there and start running. But the next verse is usually what people skip for whatever reason. The Bible says that Elisha told her to go sell the oil and make good on your debts and then live off the rest. He said, go sell the oil, all this oil that you just made. Go sell the oil, make good on your debts, and live off of it. I'm going to go back and say again that this message isn't for everybody, but it is for somebody. He tells her, go sell the oil, make good on your debts, then live off of it. Make it make sense. He didn't just give her a miracle. He gave her a business. He gave her a business. When you fill all the oil, all the vessels up, and you go out and sell it, that is a business. He didn't just give her a miracle. He gave her a business. And some of you are praying for money in this season, and God is like, I already gave you what you need. What you need is already in your house, and you're looking at it as something just a little bit, but what it is that you have can basically feed your household, take care of your debts, and you can live off of it if you tap into the oil that God has placed in your life and in your house, right? It was so funny to me because he didn't tell her, go ask other people for oil. No, what she needed, she already had. I don't want nobody else's oil. I got my own. She used what she already had, and God stretched it, right? And so what I want to make sure I am conveying this properly and correctly, because it's so important for those of you who this is for this morning to get it. He gave her a business. God has already given you what you need. You already have the power to get wealth. You already have it. That's something that's already in you, right? The power to get wealth is not some, you know how in cartoons, it's like when Popeye ate spinach, then he go, and something came up. No, it ain't even all of that. It's already in you. And guess what? The power to get wealth begins right here. Begins right here. He's already giving you the idea. He's already giving you the dream, right? The power to get wealth is already there. But now it's time to tap into your oil, right? So it was funny to me, like I said, that he only told her to get vessels. I mean, if we're just gonna be out here doing miracles, why didn't he tell her to go get oil? Why didn't he tell her to ask for money? Because God is about to use what you already have and make it make sense. God is about to use what you already have and make it make sense. That is not a typo that I put in that title. He's about to make it make CENTS. He's about to make you some money. So you've been in several seasons where you've experienced this, that, and the other. And you're like, oh, I just got this left. I just got that left. All of this was taken from me. Baby, you have enough to get started. And once you start pouring, he's going to pour more. And once you start pouring, he's going to pour more. And once you start pouring, he's going to pour more. And I'm getting ahead of myself already. She told the prophet, I don't have anything except a little oil. Well, guess what? That little was enough to get her started. So you may consider yourself having a little idea, a little dream, a little money, a little gift, a little talent, a little skill, but whatever you have, it's enough to get started. And what we see, and it's enough to make it make sense, right? And what we see in this story is that she took that little and she poured it. The more she poured, the more it flowed. The more she poured, the more it flowed. You feel like you don't have much to say, much to give or much to offer, but God says to start with that little and pour it into other women who may need your testimony. Pour it out on the businesses and corporations that need your skill, right? Pour it out on the communities that need your expertise. There's more when you pour. But you have to pour first in order to get the more, right? You're like, I only got, no, this little becomes much, right? The song says little becomes much when you place it in the master's hand, literally. There's more when you pour. There was more than enough oil to fill the vessels, and then Elisha tells her to sell it. Go make it make sense. Sis, you have a skill, you have a talent, a gift that God has given you permission this morning to sell it. Sell it. I know what church people say. That's the gift God gave you. You don't charge whatever. Listen, he gave you the power to get wealth, right? And a lot of times we are sitting around waiting for God to just like shower this money down from the sky randomly, and all of our monetary cares will be gone. That is not the way that it works. He has given you, again, the power to get wealth, right? That's what he gave you a mind and an imagination and creativity for you to create the wealth, right? And then the other part of that is what God gives. I heard Darius Daniels say this, and it really shifted the way that I think, because sometimes we just wait on God to do things, but what God has given you is a creative anointing, right? And he's giving you creative abundance. Like, you have unlimited creativity. And so when you have that creative abundance, the creative abundance creates financial abundance. What you do with that creative abundance determines what your financial abundance will be. So if you have all this power to get wealth, but you don't do anything with it, well, then there goes your financial abundance. But if you take this unlimited creativity that God has given you and make it make sense, boo-boo! You have unlimited possibilities. You have unlimited possibilities. You are not just here to work a 9 to 5 and die, pay bills and die. Like, that's not it. He put creativity in you. He put imagination in you, right? So that you will use that creative abundance to create financial abundance, to take your family out of poverty, to create a legacy for your children, to create a legacy for your family, right? So that you can actually enjoy life, so that you can prosper and be in health even as your soul is prospering. That's what he created it for, right? You're wondering where the money is going to come from for this and for that, and your gift is the solution to your problem. Your gift is the solution to your money problem. And so I came this morning to release you to walk into your next place, to walk into your next idea, to walk into your next opportunity, and to sell the oil that he's placed in you. Because when you pour, there's more, right? And so I don't care. I know we get into this. I don't care if your oil looks like somebody else's oil. Guess what? Basically, all oil kind of looks the same depending on how old it is and all that kind of stuff. But my oil has a different fragrance than your oil. My oil is going to attract a different crowd than your oil attracts, right? So even though it looks the same, I love your oil. Your oil looks good on you, but I'm using my oil, what works for me. And I don't care. I don't even care if the vessels look the same. What you carry inside that vessel is still different. You can have identical twins that look 100% alike, but they are two different people. And that's what I'm telling you this morning. Your vessel, the vessel that you are, what you carry inside is completely different to somebody else. Don't compare yourself to that. Don't compare yourself to that. And a lot of us are giving away what God has purposed for us to sell, and then asking God, telling God we need money. Well, you're giving it away. Make it make sense, boo. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And I'm sharing this with you this morning because God has anointed me. I am unapologetically anointed for business. I know that. And that's one thing I am sure of. And so I want to share that with you this morning because that is something that I really feel for this next season, for this next, I can't even tell you what's coming, y'all. I can't even tell you what's coming. But I know that we are not going to be able to solely depend on jobs and the things that we've been comfortable with. You know, the finances that we've been comfortable with, the things that we've been comfortable with. We are not going to be able to solely rely on that. But God is awakening our creativity, right? So that we can go forth and make it make sense. CENTS. We can use that unlimited creativity ability that he's given us, right? So that we can make it make sense. Okay, I see y'all now. I can see the comments on my phone. And I hope y'all are getting this morning. Hey, Alberta. Yes, Danielle, we really got to stop giving other people our ideas, the creative real estate that God has given us. We just take that and give it away. Give it away. And what kind of, think about that. I just said creative real estate. Think about that. If you own a house, right? Let's say you own a bunch of houses and you just give them all away. And then you're like, God, I need money. Well, you just had houses and you gave them away. You didn't sell them. You gave it away. So what are you looking for God to do? You gave it away, right? Your mental real estate, you gave it away. You have unlimited creativity, right? And God is saying this morning, make it make sense. CENTS. The idea that you have, the skill that you have, the talent that you have, stop giving it away and make it make sense. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. So that is absolutely all that I have to say this morning. I am so excited again to join you all. I see you this morning. I hope you got what I was saying. I really wanted to make sure that I conveyed this the way that I felt it and the way that I heard it. I really, really need you guys to tap into the gifts and the talents and the skills that God has given you in this season and make it make sense.